A while back, we made a Facebook post on our farm page trying to figure out if others have added load cells to the manure spreader or fertilizer buggy and how they did it. We got a lot of good information from everybody and we greatly appreciate that. And this is how we're going to fix our problem and add load cells to our Meyer 3245 VMAX spreader. This right here is the scale system we got from Prime USA Scales. I know there was a lot of different companies that everybody talked to us about, and we ended up going with Prime USA Scales just simply because of pricing. All the companies that you guys suggested, we called multiple of them. They were, at minimum, they were 5 times more the cost than Prime USA Scales, and at maximum, they were well over 12 times the cost. So we got estimates from anywhere from $5,000 to $12,000 to add load cells to this through multiple different companies. I'm not going to name them because I'm not bashing them. The pricing was just too high. We weren't willing to spend it. I only spent $5,000 on this manure spreader to begin with. So full disclosure up front, the guy I called at Prime USA Scales was Fred. And I assume Fred's the owner, but I'm not 100% sure. Either way, very knowledgeable. Fred, I appreciate all the help. And thank you for getting us on this path because it's much needed. Fred acknowledged right off the bat, though, that what we were doing wasn't something that he was aware of any of his customers doing before, and that it would work, it will weigh it, but it won't be accurate when you're in motion. And I said, that's not a big deal. I can stop, of course, to get an updated weight if need be, if it's really bouncing around that much. I don't think it would bounce around that much, mainly because our fields are pretty smooth, but take note of that. Did some doodling and some essentially mocked up brackets. Originally started with 3x3 and a 3x3 over here. However, I'm going to stay with a 3x3 on this side, but I've changed this side to a 4x4. And that's just so I can use the block that comes with it that is essentially a built-in nut. I want to use that across there because it's going to disperse weight across a much larger area versus using bolts. All right, now let's get some load cells in there and see what we've got. Everything's welded solid, so everything lined up phenomenally. I have absolutely no complaints about that. One minor, this kit, when I bought it, was a 4-cell kit, which at the time, that's what I thought I needed. However, mainly because I didn't feel confident enough that it was gonna hold just fine, because you gotta remember, now I'm asking essentially a 3x3 square tube along with a 4x4 square tube, 1/4-inch walls on both of them, plus the load cell to hold all the weight that 6 bolts were holding before. So moving on, what we're doing is I need to pick up 2 more load cells, which I've already called Prime USA Scales and talked to Fred, explained the situation, and right off the bat he was like, yeah, he's like, that's not a problem, we can add 2 more cells, that's simple. And I was actually, well, yeah, but I don't want a whole set. Like, I'd like all 6 of these cells to read off of one monitor. I was like, is that still possible? And he said, oh yeah, absolutely. He said, we're going to send you a different box, your 2 more load cells, and that should be all you need, and you'll be good to go. So needless to say, I was ecstatic when he said that because I was a little nervous at first, like, oh, I messed up. This isn't going to work. Guess what? We've got it all done. Everything is installed. The load cells on the tongue, the load cells on the axles, all of it. The wiring is done. Everything is done. So the tongue on ours, this is how I decided to set this up. Now you're going to notice a couple of key points here. One, this flat bar has a gap between the top clevis of that hitch and the flat bar. And that's because this is designed, you can see these arrows, right? So this is designed that when weight gets put on this tongue, it's going to push up on this flat bar, which is going to push up on this load cell, which is already held in on these spots that we've welded on. That is going to give us weight, right? So that's how we're going to measure it. You're also going to notice that we've got all the wiring done. So the wiring, you're going to see a big plume of it right here. There's extra wiring, and that's a good thing, right? So if I had to reach farther, I could. I decided not to cut them shorter. I reached out to Prime USA Scales to ask them. I probably bugged the crap out of that company with questions. they were really good about it. Fred was awesome on answering all the questions I had. And if he didn't have an answer, he reached out to somebody to get the answer. Box is mounted right here. It is a waterproof box. It has waterproof or watertight seals on the ends here as well. Tighten those up. I've got it mounted right here behind me. And I did that for a few reasons. One, I can use whatever tractor I want to at this point. I don't have to switch monitors around or anything like that. My cab of my tractor, my other tractor, is pretty crowded with a lot of things already. Whenever we're not using it, we're going to take it off. We're going to plug it in. It has a battery built into it, so you don't have to have any power or anything like that to it. So that's kind of how we came to this arrangement. Another side note. So this does have a light on the screen. I don't think you can see it on the camera very well, but it is lit. Right now you can see that it says 0, and I've got a cover on here. I could take that off, I guess. But I'm going to leave the cover on it for the most part. That way it protects it. The calibration video, which again, Prime USA Scales killed it on their YouTube video on it, walked me through it because I was reading the instructions. I called Fred and I was like, man, I feel like an idiot. I was like, can you walk me through this? He's like, I got something better for you. I got a video. You can watch it many times you need to get it right. So we're going to turn our scale system on. Should show 0. I guess oh, look at that. Yeah, good deal. All right, within a pound or two, I can live with that. This bale that's left right here should weigh 966 pounds according to the other scale. We're going to take that one, put it on this manure spreader, and we're going to see what our weight is once we do that. I don't know if you can see from the tractor, but we're really close. Within a pound or two, it kind of fluctuates a little bit, which the tractor's running, I get it. Wind's hitting the side of this thing. Now that makes me feel pretty confident that we're gonna be close or accurate with our weights. It's been going well. The scales have been working great. Even the tongue one, nothing's broke up here. Really pretty happy about all of that. Everything looks good back here. I've been checking every once in a while to see if I have any cracks in anything. And again, everything is looking really good. So much so that we're actually going to paint it when we get done. So I'm going to take all the cells off, get them out of the way, paint it like where I've ground and welded and everything else. And then of course the new brackets, I want to paint everything to prevent rust. 6,499 pounds is what we're at, and it's full. Yeah, I could put maybe a little bit more in, but not a full scoop. So from there, we're at 20.63 acres. We're going to take this information and run with it, see where we go. All right, so we've covered from 20.63 acres to 22.06 acres, which is 1.43 acres. And we used 6,499 pounds. Well, we didn't use all of it. We started with 6,499 pounds, and we're down to 956 pounds right now. So if we take that and we subtract it, that gives us 5,543 pounds. Now, again, the acreage, we covered 1.43 acres. So we're going to divide that 5,443 by 1.43. And that gives us 3,876 pounds. Really close to what we were wanting to be. Slightly high, but I can live with it. Not awful. So that kind of brings us to the conclusion of this video anyway. Works well. I'm really happy with it. Yeah, it's good stuff. I'm really happy being able to actually spread this. Thanks again to Prime USA Scales. I appreciate the solution that you guys were able to make for me. And you know, again, I know I was thinking outside the box. It wasn't something you guys necessarily thought that would work for, but money well spent, and I appreciate it. So thank you very much. Everyone else, have a blessed week. We'll see you next time. And remember, if you're going to talk about somebody, talk to God about them.